Hi, this is part 2 for spoken language, just with the explanation, just of the criteria and the overview. So in the last session, I just went through these 8 criteria here. This bit is come from the exam board, so it answers some of the frequently asked questions for the spoken language element, okay? So the first thing that you need to know is the spoken language element is required, which means you have to do it. It's part of the GCSE English qualification and it will come up on your certificate, okay? So you must speak between 3 to 10 minutes. Now 10 minutes is maximum, you're not allowed to go over there, and that actually includes the questions and answers. So you do have to have a question and answer session at the end where the audience will ask you questions, and it's part of the criteria to answer those, okay? So you want to be planning really for maybe a 5 to 6 minute speech and enough time then for a couple of questions at the end. Obviously the shorter your speech is, the more time we spend on questions, so you do want to be prepared with your speech. Important there from the exam board that candidates who are not asked any questions therefore can't respond to them, and if you're not asked any and don't respond to any questions, then you get an NC, then you get a not classified. So you can do a really good speech, but if you miss the question section, then you don't get a grade. So it is important to plan that in. So this is where we can help each other out, and you can pre-prepare questions, so challenging yet supportive, open-ended questions that gives people a chance to really argue or develop or expand on some ideas. And the more prepared you are and the more you share your drafts with me, the easier it will be for me to come up with questions to be able to ask you to help you reach the highest grade you can. So this one is about not reading from a script. So if you present to the audience with a script, then you're unlikely to meet any of the criteria. It does say in the criteria that you have to engage the audience. So if you're looking down all the time, you're not making any eye contact, that does mean, unfortunately, you will fail. So you need to make sure that you're not just reading from a script. So what that does mean is you can use notes. So you can have bullet point notes, you can have presentations, you can show things. But obviously if you're using a presentation, you can't just put your presentation on the slide and read from that, because again, that's not engaging the audience. The point is that you're speaking freely. Look at some of the people that I give speeches, watch at them on the TED Talks, watch how they communicate and how they talk to their audience and they use their hands. So, and you get tone in there as well. So if you read, unfortunately, it does mean a fail. Just to go over some of the basic criteria then, it's pass, merit, distinction. They're the 3. So the first one, the first grade is pass. So there you can see you've got to be audible, you've got to use spoken standard English, you've got to have straightforward ideas. Look at the S on ideas. That means you need 3 or more to pass. With information and explaining your feelings, you need to show that you've organised and structured your presentation. There's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end. So you welcome people, you finish your presentation properly. You want to try and engage your audience as much as you can, and you listen to questions and you provide an appropriate response. To get better grades, you can see here that I've put in and highlighted the merit and the distinction being the top grade. You want to pick topics that are more challenging. You want to use a range of vocabulary. The more in-depth you go to, gets you the higher grades. The more sophisticated your ideas, the more you've really thought about it and challenged people and made it engaging, the higher your grade is going to be. So you can obviously pause the video here and have a little bit more of a look. And if you've got any questions about the criteria, please don't hesitate to contact me and ask me any questions. Okay.